Hey everyone, how are we doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Welcome back in. It feels like I am talking to you guys literally all the time. It's actually funny because at the end of the season, I thought, what am I gonna make content on now? And now I'm making more videos than I've ever made before. Thank you guys so much for the support. I super appreciate it. The last few videos have gone absolutely crazy, so thank you guys for that. But we've got more news, and it comes from CDL Intel. As we go ahead and look at this tweet, he says, sources, Arcitys, Priesta, and Dashie are on the move. In my video earlier, we talked a little bit about these three players and where they could or potentially end up, but it seems like they're destined for their new homes. I will say that these things have not totally been confirmed yet, but it seems like it's just about that. So when it comes to Arcitys, again, as we go ahead and look at this graphic here, we said yesterday's video, if they were going for who makes them the best team moving forward, then obviously their two building pieces here would be Arcitys and Envoy, right? They're two best players. Arcitys, the best in-game leader, plays that flex role super well, but that's not what everything is about with Chicago. So T2P obviously has to stay, and Envoy's the future of that organization. So those three are in. So I thought maybe, and this is one of the weird things here, I thought the reason why Arcitys wouldn't be here is because he doesn't want to be split from his brother again, which is why part of me was thinking, well, maybe those two end up going to a different organization together, whether it ends up being over at Seattle and they team up with Octane, or who knows, maybe they just join some other franchise. But I thought that the issue here was that Arcitys wouldn't want to leave Pristini again, but it doesn't appear to be so. And the biggest reason here why it doesn't appear to be so is because the latest news has Arcitys joining SIMP, ABEZY, and Celium at the Atlanta Faze. And to me, I put this out on Twitter earlier. If you're not following me, it's at IconNationYT. You can see it down at the bottom underneath Celium there. But I tweeted this earlier. I honestly think if you add a main AR the caliber of Arcitys, not to mention the work ethic that he puts in and the in-game leadership and the fact that he's been with SIMP and ABEZY before, I think in a 4v4 meta, I think it's a wrap. I think it really hurts Dallas that they no longer have Clay, and adding an AR. Major Maniac's good, and Priesta obviously did a really good job towards the end of the year, but neither of those are quite the caliber of player of Arcitys. So you add Arcitys to this roster, and I think it's an absolute wrap. So from there, you might be thinking, well, what exactly happens to Priesta, right? Priesta would be the other person, and nobody really knows what's going to happen with Major Maniac either. But if you're to go ahead and talk about Priesta, now where does that leave him? The latest rumor, again, he's the second name mentioned in this tweet, is that he would potentially go join Kenny and Slasher and kind of make an OGLA Thieves roster. Obviously, that's not what they would be called, but that roster from 100 Thieves last year that played so well with Kenny and Slasher and now Priesta. So there's the potential that he would go join those two out at OGLA. Do they keep TJ around? If that's the case, then it would be those four, Holo and Draza. Even though they played so well at the end of the first year of the CDL, they would be on their way out. And nobody really knew quite what would happen with Priesta, but to me, that seems like a decent spot for him. So the only other name up here to talk about would be Dashie. And if we go ahead and we talk about Dashie, that would leave him reportedly as the fourth with Formal, Scump, and Envoy. And in my opinion, I think that this makes them a decent squad. I don't think that they finish as well as they did in year one, even with some of the trouble and the roster issues that Chicago did have. I don't know. I haven't seen it out of Dashie. There's a lot of news, or there was a lot of news out of the OGLA camp that he really wasn't all there in terms of scrimming every day and showing up on time and being super motivated and stuff like that. But this is how organizations surrounding Hector go, right? He's kind of got his squad and he's loyal to that squad and he wants to roll with that squad. So I think that this squad isn't as good as Dallas. I don't think they're anywhere near as good as Atlanta will be, at least initially. I think that Formal is probably like a top 6 AR, maybe. I think that's pretty safe to say, right? He's not an Octane. He's probably not as good as Arcitys, but he's up there. Envoy's an MVP candidate. I think Scump has fallen off just a tiny bit, even though, now don't come at me, I know Scump played really well in the tournament towards the end of the year, but he is only getting older, and the older he gets and the more he tries to compete with the ABEZYs of the world and how fast they play. But again, the time to kill in Black Ops Cold War doesn't seem to be as fast as it was in Modern Warfare, so that might benefit him a little bit. So I don't know. For me, I truly think the biggest storyline here is Arcitys going to Atlanta. I think there are so many question marks out there. What's happening with London? What's happening with LA Gorillas? Are they dropping their entire squad? Who's going to end up making up the team at OGLA? What's going on with Minnesota? Is Alex potentially going to play with London? I mean, there's just questions all over the place. So until all of those dominoes really do start to fall in place, I think if Atlanta is able to land Arcitys, that has to put them as the preseason favorites. And we don't even know, right? We haven't watched scrims. We don't know how anything's going to play out. Are they big maps? Are they small maps? Do they play fast? I mean, we don't really know much about the next game, but that would be an incredible pickup. I think it would put Atlanta on top right away. So in the comments down below, man, I'm putting out these videos all the time, but let me know what you're thinking. Do you think that puts Atlanta on top? Do you think Chicago can still hang in those top 3 or 4 teams? Let me know. I'm super interested in what you guys have to say. But with that, thank you all so much. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like. It helps the channel. And with that, we will see you in tomorrow's upload.